Hey, Perry Belcher here. Hope you guys are doing great. I am in a tomb right now. I went to a WeWork today. There's a bunch of people working in my house today. I had a bunch of stuff going on in my house. So I went to a WeWork today to do calls. I never done one of these. It's kind of pretty cool. So, but anyway, they got me an old thing like a phone booth, and it feels a little claustrophobic, but it's okay. I got a great guest today. I'm very proud to call this guy a business partner of mine, a friend. Um, Always one of the smartest guys in the room. Everybody says that. A five time, yes,
5 time, Perry.
5 time Wicked Smart winner.
There
In
they are
the
behind me. See that?
yeah, all those at the War Room Mastermind that we don't have anymore now. We have the Ignite Mastermind, the Driven Masterminds. But Kasim became a partner of mine in Driven Mastermind along with Jason Fladlin, and um, and it's just been a great pleasure to work with him and know him. And when it comes to traffic, especially Google traffic, he quite literally wrote the book. He wrote the book on Google traffic, you versus Google. Not that Google's adversarial toward advertisers at all, but if they were, yeah. But Kasim's just a brilliant guy. I'm so proud to have him come speak for us at the Traffic World Conference. If you don't have your tickets yet, it's trafficworldconference.com. And that event is June 19th, 20th, 21st, coming up right around the corner. There are virtual and live tickets available, although there are only a couple of live tickets available. There are virtual tickets available. I think it's going to be a great event. I've got 6 super people there that are experts in their narrow genres, to the nth degree. All friends of mine, all people I've known for years and years and years. Kasim being one of them. And Kasim, what's up, brother?
I'm living the dream, man. I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, man, I'm so glad for you to be here, dude. We get together 4 times a year and do the Driven Mastermind, Kasim and Jason and I, and about 100 of our closest friends, and it's always
100 of
it's
our
all
highest paying friends, Perry, is what it
our
is.
highest paying friends, yeah, and it's always really fun to spend time with Kasim. It'll be a real treat, I think, for you guys to get to, because you don't speak that much, right? You don't get out that much.
No, I've pared it down a lot since I sold. Yeah, I used to be a dancing monkey, and as soon as I sold my agency, I was like, I'm done with that for a while.
So Kasim is uh, ran an agency for a long time in the Google ad space and exited it for $1 bajillion.
It was
Or
exactly
was it,
one
or was
bajillion
it
dollars.
2 bajillion? I
Yeah, it was.
can never get my numbers right.
Yeah. After Uncle Sam took his chunk, it was just the one.
It was a half a bajillion.
It was, yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I did a low 8-figure exit is the what I'm allowed to say according to the NDA and all that fun
yeah,
stuff.
that's
So
fantastic. But it's enough, right? It's a good start, right?
yeah,
So yeah, so it's a good point. I want to bring Cosmo because he's actually built one of these businesses and exited the business. So these businesses are exitable, but the more, we've been talking a lot about how the more automated they are, there's more automations in place versus people. They even become more valuable to
hmm.
exit. And
Dude, I
but
built and sold too. I don't know if you know that.
I didn't know you
I
told.
Yeah, I had the highest performing real estate investment campaign on the planet for 7 years. I beat out guys like Sean Terry and Cody Sperber. If you know anything in the real estate
Yeah,
world, uh, you know Kent Clothier real well.
yeah, of course.
Yeah. So, dude, I used to,
I used to own part of that business.
did you really?
Yeah, a little bit of
Yeah.
it.
Well, I
Yeah.
used to whoop y'all's ass at Google Ads, and I sold that agency in 2019, right as the market started to turn. We got out of that one. That wasn't as healthy an exit, but it was my first. It was my first foray into being, financially settled, let's say. And I've
Yeah.
I've built 4 agencies in total. All of them have gotten to at least 7. One got to 8 figures. So I know the agency space well, which isn't a brag, dude, because it's the dumbest business in the whole wide world, right? Like, I get in the agency business because I'm not smart enough to do SaaS or ecom.
Well, I think services, though, I think there's a difference, right? There's a
Yeah.
fine line between being a service and being an agency. Like when we had Eric Huberman in to speak, and they're doing what, 400 or $500 million
$500
now,
million gross revenue.
$500 million with an agency. And
Insane.
and Eric told me, because I asked, how do you scale an agency? Nobody can scale agencies. How do you scale an agency at $500 million? He said, because it's not an agency.
Right.
It's a
Yeah.
suite of services, and there's a fine line between that. Maybe we can talk about that a little bit. But so what's going on in Google world nowadays?
Dude, I don't know why there's not an antitrust suit, Perry, to be honest with you. It's so interesting to see because we got bigger than most Google agencies get. When I sold, we had 200 clients with $100 million in ad spend under management. The average Google agency will, or even media agency, like if you're doing media buy, they tap out at around 30 clients is the high watermark. And I
Right.
only bring that up because I have more data than most people have. And what we're starting to see is Google using your data against you. And if you're an agency owner, you're already seeing this, even if you don't realize you're seeing it. The minute you start to see conversions, positive signs of life, positive indicators, your CPCs and your CPMs go up. It's transparent. It's night and day. Like like campaigns not performing, cheap traffic. As soon as the campaign starts to perform, your traffic costs spike. And Google, this is in Google's terms of service. This is documented. There are 5 factors they use in order to price traffic. One of them is value to the advertiser. And so it's putting us in this position where it really is you versus Google.
It's not a natural auction anymore.
No, it's not an organic. It's not. So Google's auction used to be based off of the victory auction model, which says that the highest bidder wins the bid, but pays the second highest bidder's price. That's been thrown out. And now they're basing it off of, to be frank, it's an algorithmic calculation to determine how to maximize the value of their inventory based off of how much inventory they have compared to how many advertisers that are willing to bid on the inventory and how much those advertisers are willing to pay. So it's something of a priced fixed model. And where the worst advice, you want to hack?
Sure.
You want the best and worst hack in the world?
Yeah, go for it.
Dude, this is nuts. And this is the stupidest thing anybody's going to tell you to do, but it works. This is where it's crazy.
Don't track, right?
Don't track conversions. You believe that
Yeah.
shit? You believe it?
That's, you taught that, and I know people now that have followed that, and
Yeah.
they're seeing incredible results. Because the only metric, you said it, I'll let you say it, I don't want to steal what's the only metric that matters?
Well, it's ROI, right? So
Yeah.
everybody, and that's out of app. That's actually the money I spend from my bank account and the money I get in my bank account. Because if you're trusting Google's ROI, which is ROAS or TCPA, that's gerrymandered data too, where they're stealing other traffic from other sources. So when you stop tracking, you lose visibility, but so does Google. And that's the key is if you are sending a quality offer with a quality ad to a quality audience, there's the prerequisite, right? Like I'm assuming your offer is not horseshit, and I'm assuming you know how to articulate it. And those are 2 hard things, incidentally. I'm not saying that's easy, but you have a good offer.
Yeah, a lot of times people have a good product, and the challenge is the guys like me that can write a great offer. We end up selling shitty products because we can sell shitty products with great copy, and then we don't improve the product enough, and then you got the guy out there that's just got the killer app product that doesn't know how to.
No idea how to say it.
Takes him 20 minutes to pitch it in an elevator. Everybody dies before he finishes explaining, what his thing does. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. But if you can check both of those boxes, or at least partially, and you're sending it to a quality audience, which just means, mediocre targeting at best. If you don't track conversions, what's nice about that is Google can't see how to screw you because they don't know what's working and what's not working. And so I call it iron curtain media buying. And right now, I think this is the way, as long as you can control those outside variables, this is the way that people should be buying media. It's a tough sell for agency to client.
But you can isolate it. It's pretty simple. I've always done it anyway because I never trusted the stats. Because if you run Facebook stats, Google stats, and then look at cart stats, if you isolate a funnel and say this is the funnel, this funnel is only running to Google and to these campaigns, the cart never matches the platform.
No.
Ever. They either overshoot it, undershoot it, or somewhere in between. So we've always used it as a checkpoint to see where we are. But just to clarify that, basically the metric is how much money did I spend? How much money did I get back?
Yeah.
That's it. Simple, Simon. I totally understand that. I've noticed now in Facebook, not to get off the Facebook conversation, but Facebook now, try this. Click an ad in Facebook, any ad. I don't care what ad it is.
And then see all the competitors pop up.
Yeah. If you click an ad for pickles, as soon as you come off that landing page, your whole stream is just filled up with ads for pickles.
Dude, I'll give you a worse one. You ready for this shit? So I wear a shirt from a brand called Cuts. You ever hear Cuts?
Yeah, I'm not that sexy, so I don't.
They're a mid-market t-shirt company, but they make shirts that don't wrinkle. And I'm always bad at leaving my clothes in the dryer, so I like things that don't wrinkle. So there's Cuts, but there's 4 other Cuts competitors that are basically the same shirt. I like Cuts, but there's 4 others, and it's $30 a t-shirt.
Sure.
Anyway, here's why I bring it up. Don't even click on an ad. Go to the cuts.
Designed especially for suckers who'll pay $30 for a t-shirt.
That's exactly right. Yeah. So somebody is getting it off of
I'll send you a
Alibaba for
case of those. I
$1.96.
buy them by the case for $4.60 out of LA, by the way.
Yeah.
Same
You
manufacturer.
just got to burn the lead paint off of yours.
Yeah,
And
that's
then,
it. That's it.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
it.
Go to the Cuts website. You haven't clicked on an ad. Just go to the Cuts website. And then when you roll around Meta a couple of days later, not only you'll start to see the Cuts remarketing first, but if you don't engage with the remarketing ads, Meta will start to sell you to Cuts competitors. And if you think about what that means, Cuts generated that traffic independent of Meta. And Meta is taking the traffic on Cuts website in order to determine you're intrinsically qualified now, and they'll sell you to Cuts competitors. So you're actually creating the audiences for Meta. Dude, that's like crazy. It's like walking into a Target and all of a sudden somebody runs up and says, Walmart has that cheaper.
I think that's why everybody's conversions are going down. I mean,
Right.
I think one of the reasons is like they're serving more ads, they're getting more clicks, they're winning, but at the end of the day, the advertisers are losing. So, are you seeing that trend on the Google side yet?
It's hard. Google as an ecosystem is much larger. I mean, 100 some odd times larger. So the Meta thing I just caught, it was, what would you say? It was an anecdotal observation. I haven't seen enough to be able to prove that that's happening in Google. But my question to you is, how could it not? Right. Google is collecting, 100 million demographic and psychographic profiling factors. You would have to very intentionally say like, oh wait, don't cross these channels here because we want to be fair to the advertiser.
So how do we hack? Because I'm excited, honestly, about these changes.
I know, dude, you're so funny that way. You love that shit. Anytime something, you just like shakeups.
Well, weirdly enough, it makes marketers again.
Yeah.
Because there've been half-ass marketers out there like you.
I'm one of them.
Who've been able to uber target.
Right. Dude, I'm not a marketer. I'm a data nerd. I couldn't put an offer together to save my life.
I love this guy. I jack with Kasim because I can, but yeah, there are so many people that have called themselves marketers who actually were targeters.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys understood, getting down to the one desperate person, that's biting their fingernails and there's blood coming out and they're in pain in that moment. And you go, still biting your nails? Want to bite nail bite shit? You guys were able to find that incredibly thirsty audience that were desperate to buy anything. I think Halbert said one time that, if you got a guy walking across the Mojave Desert dying of thirst, is going to be dead in 30 minutes. You don't need a long form sales copy. You just need a sign that says water. Right. That's all you need. And they're going to pay whatever you want for it. But those are few and far between and hard to come by. Where for me, I've got a great message, right? So I can write great messages. I can write copy. I can market again. I can attack people at an emotional level. I think the deal's going to be, the challenge for the online consumer is the confused mind always knows. And right now, these ad platforms, by slamming you with 20 other shirt ads, are confusing the mind of the consumer. The consumer may just say no, but eventually they'll break through, and they're going to break through and buy from the best offer. So I think that at the end of the day, for the person who knows how to write copy, knows how to craft offers, it's actually an advantage. And the copywriters I'm talking to today are excited about it because all the copy has insane value again.
Copy is what allows you not to track. My advice of not tracking, first things out of my mouth was make sure you got a good offer and you can articulate it. That's copy. Yeah. And that's what gives you the permission not to track. Because if you don't have good copy, you have to track because you have to figure out what's working, what's not working.
Yeah. I think that's absolutely it. So what are I know you're a hack magnet. So what have you seen? I would love for you to share with them your Tommy Powers is talking YouTube, by the way. You know Tommy, right?
I know of Tommy. I've never met him.
Tommy's baller, dude. He's amazing. I think he buys more YouTube than about anybody.
Wow.
But I know you've had some really ninja YouTube hacks, and why don't you give us a good old dirty, snaky Kasim Aslam I always mess with you about your name. But give us a really good old dirty um Google or YouTube hack.
Yeah, so the dirtiest YouTube hack I know, which I'm still surprised still works, to be honest with you. Um, this guy, I don't know if you see that trophy there in the center, Perry? That's not a Wicked Smart trophy. You know what that is?
No, but it's irrelevant to me because it's not a Wicked Smart trophy.
Yeah, well, that's the high level affiliate award. I get
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
40 to 50 grand a month from high level net to me as an affiliate. I was their fourth highest ranked affiliate at one point with this hack. Okay, so I've edified my hack well enough, right? A good that's good copy, right, Perry? I just did it a little bit.
You did a good job. You teed it up pretty
Yeah.
nicely.
All right. Here's what
That's
we
your
did.
teaser. That's your teaser copy.
That's right. Okay, that's good. I'm learning here. I didn't know I was paying for coaching. Send me a bill. High levels at the time, high levels competitor or the easiest to identify competitor when we started marketing high level was SharpSpring. And it's because SharpSpring had all these agencies that were buying SharpSpring and reselling it. SharpSpring had per agent or per client pricing and an agency hub and spoke model and white label features and capabilities. Now, since then, SharpSpring's been picked dry, and I bet you they don't exist anymore. They've sold to somebody. But here's what we did. The Google search bar and the Google URL bar are the same bar. It's the same input. And what Google's doing when you search for anything is they're cataloging your searches and appending them to your user record in order to help with targeting. So if you were to search for, lace white wedding dress, they'd know, oh, Perry's looking for a lace white wedding dress. He must be getting married. What and then what does that mean? And all the
And
implications.
getting one in my size is quite a challenge, to be honest.
He's going to need new shoes. He's going to want makeup. He's going to need a venue. So
I don't
when
need those
somebody,
implanty things, those silicone things that you
do you
stick on.
need those or
Not so much. I mean, I've lost a lot of the cleavage. Yeah, it's really unfortunate.
it's just the right dress will flatter any body type, I feel like. Anyway, so you having searched for this is an intrinsic qualification of insert all of that's the lead domino, right? And there's 100 different dominoes that come out from that. That's good to know just when it comes to Google targeting. But it's not just terms that Google's cataloging. They're also cataloging URLs. And URLs pre-populate. So if you're a SharpSpring customer, if you're an agency that uses SharpSpring, and this worked at the time. It doesn't work anymore because SharpSpring's URLs have since changed. But it was like sharpspring.com/login, let's say. And so I could go into YouTube's custom audience and I could take, sharpspring.com/login, HTTPS:// and the 3 or 4 or 5 different manifestations of that URL. And I could target by people who've searched for that URL, which I'm not going people who've searched for SharpSpring.
Users, they're only customers, right?
Oh, yeah. So I can, and dude, what's crazy about that is targeting by login URL. If you really think about the implications of it, like, anybody you can target people who are in Alcoholics Anonymous, people who are about to get a divorce, people who are about to declare bankruptcy. You can target people by the type of porn they like or what dating apps they're using.
Facebook groups, right?
I don't, dude, that's a good question.
I'm pretty sure you can.
Yeah, because Facebook URLs are custom as long as it's pre-populated into that bar and it's one they visit on a frequent basis.
Yeah.
100%. So you can target people based off of the URLs that they visit. And now it used to be like crazy, sniper rifle accurate. Google has since diluted it, I imagine, for privacy concerns, but it still works. It's still like, hey, this is the people that we're going after. And Google goes, yep, I know who you're talking about. And then they deliver you that audience.
I know that the other thing you were doing with the basically filming your version of someone else's YouTube.
Dude, that's one of my favorite. Yeah. So we spent 150 grand before I sold again. We spent 150 grand a month in YouTube. Us, not for our clients. Like my agency spent $150,000 a month on our own ads. And here's what we did. We didn't run ads because we're not good copywriters because we suck at copy. So instead, we would find the videos that would speak to the decision point, the inflection point for somebody shopping for our service. So like, for instance, the ultimate guide to Google ads, everything you need to know about Google ads, how to hire a Google ads agency, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We'd shoot our own version of those videos. And what most people don't know is YouTube, well, they don't know 2 things. One, YouTube allows you to target individual videos. So if you had a video that was performing really, really well, I'd shoot my version of that video. And dude, our videos would be an hour and a half long. I'd run that video as an ad over top your video. And I can't prove this, but I think most people didn't realize it. Because if you see a thumbnail for the ultimate guide to Google Ads, you click on it and I'm like, hey, welcome to the ultimate guide for
Are
Google
you
Ads.
looking for the ultimate guide for Google Ads?
Exactly
You
right. You're
found
like,
it.
yeah, I happen to be looking for that. And so we would run our
How
video
did he
on
know?
top of their video. And dude, it crushed. It
Nobody,
crushed.
nobody knows you can run an hour. Tommy's going to talk about that some. We chat about that when he was on. Nobody knows you can run an hour and a half long YouTube video.
Dude, that's all we ran. All we ran was
Evidently,
long
you
form.
can run an unlimited length YouTube video.
Ours tapped out at, I think 90 minutes is the longest one we ever run. But yeah, and long form videos perform really well because this is the other thing. This is true about video ads in both Meta and the entire Google ecosystem. Here's what I like about it. And it actually comes full circle because if you're not tracking at all, let's say you've turned all tracking off, videos still allow for in-app optimization because Meta and Google both can say, oh, I can tell who is interested in your message based off of who's watching the video and how much they're watching. So you get to optimize in-app for reach. And then once they click and they go to your site, if you have tracking turned off, you get the benefit of cheaper traffic.
What's the coolest thing you've seen that's unusual, that's working, it's a sniper method in Google Ads recently? Anything really new and unique?
Yeah, so there's a couple of them. Number one is sending traffic. This is e-com only, but sending Google traffic directly to Amazon. Here's what's crazy. This is nuts, dude. Your
I didn't think
ads.
they would allow that.
So, wait, it's gonna get worse. Your ads look like it's Amazon. So when you go to Google and you search for, whatever it is, lipstick or,
They used to not allow that. I know for a fact they didn't because
they do now.
Because we tried to boost products on Amazon that way.
No, Amazon, not only that, but I think Amazon gives you
10
some form
points
of
back. They give you 10
rebate.
back. Yeah, so you get back. So I'm becoming this. My next big conquest is Amazon because I'm way late to the Amazon game, but I'm playing it as I always do. I played a very different way. But so I was at this $1 billion seller summit in Hawaii last week, which is cool. First time I've ever been to Hawaii. I went to Kauai, supposedly the most beautiful place in the world, and it was quite beautiful. But they were talking about that you can go buy ads, and you get your referral fee on Amazon's about 15%. So they charge you 15%. But now, if you're driving traffic to your product, they give you back 10%. They give you back 3/4 of your referral fee.
Wow, I didn't know that's how they did that. I know you got something back, but I've always only been
you get 3/4 of your feedback, which is crazy freaking cool.
Yeah.
And it's so much better because your normal landing page on a Shopify store or something converts at 2 to 3%, and on average, an Amazon page converts at 7 to 8%. Just average across the board conversions, where the average Shopify is like 2.3 or something like that.
Yeah.
So you're selling 2.5 times more stuff. You're doing it for roughly the same money, and at the same token, you're pushing that item up the Amazon algo.
Right.
So it's not just when you're sending that sale to Shopify, the only money you're making is that sale you made on Shopify.
Yeah.
There's no other benefit to that.
It's like paid SEO inside of Amazon.
Correct. So paid SEO inside Amazon's it ain't that great anymore. It's rough to make money with that. It's almost a necessity to have it if you don't have outside, because you'll just never get discovered. I didn't know that, but I don't want to speak out of turn. I might be wrong, but I think I read the other day there are 3.5 million Amazon sellers. Not
even that feels low.
Not customers, sellers.
Yeah.
Which is just an insane number.
It's a city.
My sister sells on Amazon. She's like, I hate Amazon. They never will answer my phone calls. Honey, sis, there's 3.5 million of you. Come on, what are they going to do? You're going to have 2 million. You have the whole nation of India on the phone answering calls, right? But yeah, it's crazy how big that universe is. And there's a lot of people still making a lot of money. A lot of people giving up on Amazon and bailed out on Amazon. But I think, and they talk about the fees being so high on Amazon.
Dude, how with the fees? They're stealing products. I had a client. Actually, I won't even give him away. I don't know if he wants this or not, but he had a very, very niche product. It's not something that's just like off the shelf that Amazon would have sourced themselves. And next thing he knows, after it starts to function really well, he's probably doing 18 months of like really, really good business. Amazon launches the Amazon Basics version, which is
Yeah.
prioritized over his no matter what. Dude, get this, same bullet points. The
But why would
thumbnail that with all the features and benefits, same bullet by bullet. It was the same thing, pari passu, in the same freaking order.
but
And
that doesn't freak me out at all. And I'll tell
why?
you, because I came from retail, dude. Do you know
Mm.
how long retail's been doing that?
Yeah,
Sears,
that's how Walgreens stays in business, right? Just
Sears did
selling.
it, Walgreens did it, Walmart does it, everybody does it. Everybody in the old school retail game does that.
Yeah, but they do it
That's,
against brands like Johnson and Johnson that they have billions of dollars to advertise the brand and build the brand. Like if I don't have a brand, the basics version looks just as good as mine.
well, and that's the thing. You're not,
I'm not a marketer.
no, 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 no. That fool and his money you're lucky enough to get together in the first place. That person who got on the Amazon platform should kiss the ground that they got on Amazon platform, got to prove out their product. But
Mm,
the reason Amazon will do that, they typically don't do that against good brand value. They typically they've done it with Anchor. They've hit Anchor with a bunch of those, even though Anchor was a great seller. But they typically speaking, if you've got a branded good that people are coming on the platform and buying it by brand,
mm,
Google's usually going, Amazon's usually going to leave that alone
mm.
because they know that's the brand bringing the business in, not the design of the product. Like if I go to Walgreens, for instance, and I decide I'm going to sell Walgreens this pen, right? And it nobody knows the name of the pen, but it's a good pen, right? And it starts selling. Well, why the hell wouldn't Walgreens import this?
Yeah,
If I'm importing it for 12 cents and selling it to Walgreens for 50 cents,
yeah.
so that Walgreens can sell it for $1 and nobody's coming in to buy it. I'm not pushing anybody into Walgreens to buy it. Why in the hell would they just say, well, I'm just going to be loyal to Perry and give him 4 times the money we could buy that for ourselves?
Mm.
It's not reasonable to assume anybody's going to do that.
An interesting perspective because I've never looked at Amazon as a retailer. I've always looked at them as a network or a platform.
No, they're 1,000% a retailer, but
Yeah.
they're not going to carry super niche SKUs, and they're not going to carry things that are, their categories they're probably not going to play in. Like the categories I'm in now are like chemicals and food.
Mm.
I'm into chemicals and food,
Dude, you put those together and you got a lawsuit on your hands.
or something really, really, really
Or
tasty,
Spider-Man. Yeah.
or Oreos. Who
Or
says that?
most food. Yeah.
Who says that's not a business model is an idiot, right?
So funny.
That's a proven business model. But yeah, it's you just got to choose to use that platform the right way. And people on Amazon are bitching about fees. They're charging me 35% of my money, dude.
Yeah, but that's the traffic would have cost you any damn way. I
But
can tell he's the traffic guy.
it would have cost you that. And if you go to Walmart, what do you think they're going to do?
Right.
They're going to need a 2 or 3 times markup
Right.
your product to make
Well,
money.
and you got to sell. I one of my clients does, I think 2 billion a month to Walmart in shelf stable foods. And the amount of product he has to provide Walmart is insane.
Inventory and you're
Yeah.
waiting forever for your
Well, and he's like,
money.
yeah, it's all net 90 terms at a
Oh my
minimum.
God,
Like,
it's a nightmare.
yeah.
So people who are bitching about Amazon are just non-sophisticated retailers, frankly. They're
Mm.
non-sophisticated providers. They just don't understand. The days of I'm going to import a thing from Amazon and sell it. I'm going to import a thing from China and sell it on Amazon. Those days are long since gone.
You remember when AliExpress had a direct integration? You could launch an Amazon's. Yeah, like, that was
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, it was a great time. That's always, but markets always become more efficient.
Right.
Markets always become more efficient. Google's finding that they don't really need media buyers as much
I
as they
actually think the current Google market, the current traffic market is a bubble.
yeah.
Because you're buying traffic. Everybody's buying traffic on spec. There's speculators buying traffic based off of LTVs that have yet to prove out. So the minute that there's a shift in the market, something slows down, the economy softens, it's all going to blow up. It's I think a literal by definition bubble.
And then it's my media buyer sucks.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they come yell at me.
Yeah. But I think there's still a great opportunity though, for people to build media buying into their business,
Oh,
especially
dude, they have to.
yeah, especially if they're and you know, one of the things that I've always done in business is pick the thing that people needed and said, you know what, I'm just not going to make any money on this part
Mm.
of the business.
Dude, can I
You
tell you what that is here?
know,
Retargeting.
yeah.
Every agency on the freaking planet should have a massive retargeting offer. And by Matt, they're easy to build, but I don't care if you're doing email, SEO, programmatic, doesn't matter. You do all of this work, bring somebody, I mean, the time, the effort, and energy to get visibility on a page or a site, and to just let them go the first time. Are you freaking kidding me? Roll retargeting into your offering. It's not difficult to build out from an operations perspective. It's not difficult to learn. It's not difficult to manage. But shit, Jude, you can make it free because now retargeting is going to make everything else you do look better. I interrupted you, by the way. I'm
And
sorry,
now
but
no, it's great. Now you get all these other services, right?
right.
It's somebody that we know. I won't say what it is, but they started an agency and they were looking at it and called me, said, you know, I think I want to do media buying. I think I'm going to do CRO. I might do text message. I said, do text messaging.
Mm,
You know why? Because you don't have to unseat somebody.
mm,
You know, if I say I'm going to go be a Facebook media, I'm going to be a Google media buyer, and I'm going to one of your clients, well, I got to unseat you.
right.
And there's the pain of disconnect. But if I say, hey, looks like you're not doing any retargeting, leave your stuff with Kasim, but why don't you let me retarget for you?
Yeah, 100%.
Or why don't you let me run your SMS for you? Or why don't you let me run your sequential email for you? Things that people are largely ignoring. And once you make them $1, they'll run to you to spend
Right.
more money. You
Dude,
know, you don't have to sell them.
you know what I think the next big agency is?
Hmm.
I'm not going to term this well. I need your help here, Perry. You got to help me with the verbiage. It's an analytics agency. It's you go take Chris Mercer's measurement marketing course, you learn measurement because nobody does this well, and every agency is partial to their own, proficiency. So if you had an independent third party, almost the same way you have a CPA or financial planner or controller, if you have an independent third party doing nothing but measurement, but doing measurement holistically, I think analytics agencies they'll end up not just being critical, especially with the proliferation of AI, because they need to be able to show like all these 50 different AI tools you're using. We need a single source of truth. You have to be able to pull that together. But they'll also end up being the key decision makers for you because they'll tell you, hey, you should do more of this, less of this. Here's the vendor,
Well,
etc.
and they get to tell you if your media buyer is bullshit or not,
Right.
or if copywriter is bullshit or not. Because
Yeah. Yeah.
it's so true, dude. I've got, in Driven, we have 100 members in Driven that are all, multi-million dollar businesses, all of them. Some of them, 8-figure businesses, 9-figure businesses. I would say of all of them that I've talked to, I don't know if any of them really have their numbers down.
Dude. Yeah. I,
I mean,
I, I don't think there's
it,
one in there whose numbers I admire. You know what I mean? Like,
it might be if there is, it's far less than 5%.
yeah.
Making these multi-million dollar decisions, these big swinging decisions with incredibly limited data. We had a client that came in. We had a client that came in, spent the day with me at the house, one of the breaking point things. And they brought a team with them and some other stuff. And it was funny. I'm breaking down the whole business and I'm like, well, let's look at the traffic campaigns where you're at right now. They flew their media buyer in. And she opened up their thing and they said, yeah, we just need a new offer. We need this, we need that. How are we going to reconstruct the business? And she pops up in this campaign and I start looking at it. And from the snapshot, I'm like, how's that doing? And she said, how much did we spend? How much did you spend on that last month? And it was like, I don't know, $8,000. So how did that campaign do? Well, if you go out 30 days, it generated $42,860.
Turn it off.
And I'm like, and you want to do a new offer.
Yeah.
Have you got rocks in your head? You have a rocket ship
Yeah.
here. I said, how much universe is there? And she said, well, I can only spend $300 a day is my budget. I'm like, okay, here's how I'm going to make you. This is why your consultation is worth money.
Yeah.
Spend $1,000 a day. And they did. And, it just, and the business is up a couple 100%. Everybody thinks they got to change. Everybody in this business, most people in this business, you make a great point. You're absolutely right. Because the vast majority of people in this business are just wild ass guessing.
Mm-hmm.
and they
Dude,
think
at
they're
the highest levels, I've got a publicly traded company as a client that it's just wild ass guess. They got a bunch of corporate gobbledygook speak to back up their wild
they
ass
think they're
guesses.
so fucking smart.
Yeah, but they've got no data to support it.
They think they're so smart, you know. Everybody sits around and hypothesizes, and I call it mental masturbation. You know,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
they sit around and mentally masturbate about how smart they are, and it's crazy. Anyway, we kind of got off on a bit of a tangent. So, what are you going to talk about at the old traffic worlds?
Dude, I'm jumping on a soapbox, dude. I'm bringing everybody to church, and I'm going to talk about attribution and the fact that no such thing as attribution exists. All reporting is an absolute lie. Everything that you've been taught or believe is an absolute lie, and I can prove it. And the way that agencies are delivering metrics to their clients is going to get them in trouble. It's actually going to get them nailed to the freaking wall. And if agencies will adopt this paradigm, they're going to be so far out ahead of not just other agencies, but other in-house media buyers, which are really the enemy, right? Like in-house media buyers to agencies, that's who you're competing against more often than not, especially if you're spending any real money. So I'm going to give them the juice on how to lift themselves out of the echo chamber. Because, dude, it's this self-fulfilling prophecy. And to be honest with you, I feel like it's abusive. The way that Meta feeds you data that's a lie and Google feeds you data that's a lie. And we'll talk about just the paradigm shift that's necessary in order to really buy media in a way that's sophisticated but simple. That's the best part. It's going to get easier, not harder. So all the complexifying that we used to do, 2 years ago, I was all about that. This button plus this button times this button. If you hold that button down while you know what I mean? Like that's over. And now, because we really do have AI-driven media mechanisms, we're in a position to let certain things run, but you have to know, you just have to approach it in the same way. So that's what I'm talking. Was that cryptic or was that an answer?
It wasn't cryptic, but it didn't draw a line to how do they make money from that? Like, how are these guys gonna take what you teach them and earn with it?
Hmm.
Like either like, um, yeah, let me reframe the question. So let's say today I said, Kasim, you you have to be in a service business.
Yep.
You have to be in a service business. It has to be somehow related to traffic. You don't have any more money. You know, you got $10,000 to your name. These are your only options. You have a Wi-Fi connection, a laptop, 10 grand, and the skills that you have now. Um, you have to do something that's traffic related. What would
Hmm.
you do?
I'd go open an analytics agency. Exactly what we just talked about. I
I
would
think
go.
you were saying that I was making notes and I wrote down Arbitron
Hmm.
because I think an agency might not yeah, that's a play, but I think a bigger play is almost an authority.
Hmm.
Because like Arbitron, do you know how Arbitron works with radio and television?
No.
So basically, there are laws. You're saying that what you're saying, almost everything that's new is a new version of something that's old, right?
Sure.
So, so radio and television got so funky back in the day. Nobody knew if their messages were really being heard, who they were being heard by, when they were being played, all those things. And this service popped up called Arbitron. And Arbitron monitors all radio television in the world, in the country, the US anyway. And it tells you if your spot actually played or not,
No way.
and if it played at the right time and all that. And most people don't know this, and most people don't claim it. It's the reason everybody fails at radio and television. You you hire you get your own Arbitron account. Most people don't get them as advertisers. It's usually the stations get them. But if you get your own Arbitron account, you audit what your bill is. And radio, particularly, notoriously overbills 40 to 50%.
Wow.
Either the spot didn't play or it didn't play at the time they said it was going to play or whatever. It got stomped on by the national network or whatever. And they have to refund that to you within, I think it's 7 days
Hmm.
of billing. They have to refund it to you. That's a federal law. And I'll bet you're going to find something like that happens because you need somebody validating those numbers. You need somebody validating your agency. You need somebody validating the platforms because you can't trust anybody, right? You can't
Oh,
trust the
dude,
agent.
Google's ROAS numbers are such garbage. It's hysterical. I've got actually a case study in the talk that I'm about to do. Google shows a 13x return. 13x return. Facebook shows a 0.9 return. So you're losing money on Facebook and you're making 13x on Google. We turn Facebook off, Google tanks. Google's not making the money. It's just reselling your existing traffic, people that are already going to buy from your top of the funnel.
Users, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they know when you click on that Facebook ad, they know that you clicked on it because it pops up in the browser bar.
Well, and Google has so many tracking mechanisms. There's, Google Analytics is on 99% of all front-facing websites. Google Tag Manager is being used more often than not. Google Chrome. You have and then, the Google Chromebook, the Android operating system. Like Google has the ability to triangulate in ways that the Chrome browser, in ways that I mean, I don't know that anybody else has the ability to triangulate. Amazon has AWS, and that's
Yeah, but
real
it's
interesting.
not like because I didn't know really that Google's got you on maps too. They bought Waze and the Google
Oh yeah.
Maps, 99% of maps. So there's a company here, it's called Adomi or something here in Vegas now that will retarget outdoor advertising to you.
No way.
If you're driving to work in the morning,
The display changes.
it could be Perry Belcher on your billboard. Perry says,
Dude, that's awesome.
sign up for Perry's course on a billboard on your way to work. And you're like, holy shit. And the thing is, when you drove past that, it wasn't Perry anymore. It was just for you.
That's amazing.
I was in
That was only a matter of time till they cracked that code.
I was in I called Craig Clemens. You know Craig Clemens?
Mm.
He owns Golden Hippo, big supplement company. And I was in an airport. I was in Atlanta airport, and I walk in front of a thing, and I'd been surfing a bunch of his products, looking at copy and stuff. And I walk by one of the displays in an airport, and it's his ad for this Dr. Grundy guy pitching whatever. And I call him. I said, "Hey, man, are you advertising airports?" He said, "No. What are you talking about?" He said, "Oh, yeah, that's that outdoor thing that we're testing." And it was just to me because it found my device.
That's amazing. Is that a cat? You have a cat?
I don't have a cat. I have the cat. Yes. Look,
The cat? I didn't know you're a
I've,
cat person.
I've given up on women. Look at this. Look at this one. Look at that.
All right.
Right. Yeah, that's foo-foo.
Dude, I've been to your house. I'm deathly allergic to cats. I didn't sniff a cat at all.
Foo-foo's new. You
Oh,
can't.
okay. I'm never
So,
coming over again. I'll die.
all right. Well, that's one less thing I gotta worry about. All right. Well, cool. Well, man, I'm excited for you to be at Traffic World Summit, Traffic World Conference, rather, trafficworldconference.com, June 19th, 20th, 21st, here in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada, and available live in person via smoke signal, or even live stream.
Hmm.
And you get to see Kasim in full 6 foot. How many of you with his shorts and his tennis shoes on, because that's all he ever wears. And I've seen better legs. I've seen better legs on a chicken. So it's a treat. Your
Yeah.
ladies love it.
You're all welcome.
I love you to death. And John Moran's coming with you, right?
Well, that's the real draw there. Anybody who knows,
How about
John's the best
John?
Google Ads guy in the world.
So you and John worked together many years, right?
He's my business. He's the only reason I have any money. Yeah, that agency was built on his back.
Yeah. So John's the brains, and you're just the eye candy.
Yeah, well, the joke was he's the brains and I'm the mouth. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd make promises and he'd keep those promises. That's the way it worked.
That's good. It's good to have. All right, man. Well, I look forward to seeing you there. And Kasim Aslam, John Moran, both be at Traffic World Conference. We hope that you go. It is a very different conference where each speaker gets a couple of hours to actually teach a master class on what they do, and then take a half an hour Q&A. So they're filming these things. There is a competition, by the way, for speakers, and I would hate for you to come in last. It would be
I've never come in last anything, Perry.
It would be frankly embarrassing to me as your friend
and business partner.
But I'm telling you, there's some serious competition.
Yeah.
Otami's super smart YouTube. I got Maxwell Finn. You know Max, probably.
Yep.
Max is whip smart.
Right.
Uh,
Ruben
Victoria
Rock.
Victoria Griggs is there. Ruben Rock is there. Um, Ingrid. I did my call with Ingrid a couple of days ago. She crushed, dude. Do you know that the chick has spent like she has the three $10 million awards behind her desk. She's made a lot of money in paid Instagram,
Hmm.
and she can't hardly say Instagram. I'm just joking. I love you, Ingrid. No, but such a doll. But it's amazing what she's done in the Spanish market. Man, she has just destroyed the Spanish market with Instagram and done it. Only been doing it for about I don't know 10 years now.
Hmm.
Just crushes it all the time. And linked a little thing on that call that was like, oh, let me tell you this thing I'm doing right now that just it's going to scorch people's brains. If you didn't watch that interview, go back and watch it because it's really, really, really good what she's doing with Instagram. She grew. She was showing one of her accounts. Uh, she grew it 12,000 new followers with a singular post a couple days ago.
No way.
And it's this. She creates these stories out of Instagram that start off with like just a weird facial expression. You have to watch it. It's fantastic. She does some like weird facial expression, like something like that. People will click that. As soon as they click that, then she starts them down a story. It's pretty
Launches
interesting.
into it.
Oh my God. It's an Instagram story funnel. So she funnels them through a story, one Instagram at a time. They're like 3 second steps, 3 to 8 second steps in a 7, 8, 10 step graphical journey that ends in buy my ship. As
Good
most
for
of
her.
our journeys end. But anyway, well, Kasim, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. Can't wait to see you out here. Well, I know you got to be in and out because you got daddy duty going on, but be there and see Kasim, be there to see John. Hopefully we get John on a call next week. I don't know how busy he is. It was funny. I don't know if I told you this or not, but so I had, you probably know it now, but I had Brittany calling all the speakers to line these up, and she calls John and he says, what are you talking about?
I didn't know that.
He said, I'm not speaking at any event for Perry. And I'm like, and she's like, well,
Barry thinks you are.
yeah, you are. And I thought, because you said, well, you got to have John speak. And I said, okay, well, tell him. And I'm like, well, Casa will
Oh, I
talk
didn't.
to him.
No, I didn't say a
And
word.
nobody told him.
Yeah.
He's very gracious. He's coming. He's happy to come. But it was just funny that like, he's like, well, that's news to
No,
me.
it's my fault. I didn't know that was my job. Yeah.
No worries. All right, brother. Love you to death. I'll see you next week on our driven call, but I can't wait to see you here at trafficworldconference.com. Go to Traffic World Conference, get your tickets, come see Kasim Aslam while you got the chance, because he may get hit by a bus or something. You never know.
I don't
I hate to see all that
With these
knowledge.
chicken legs, as distracting as I
Oh,
am,
yeah.
walking around the streets of Scottsdale, I'm playing Frogger.
All right, buddy. Thank you so much. Take
Bye,
care,
guys.
guys.
Thanks for having me.